All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Machak double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Real quick, I just wanted to go into this article here, all right, and just talk a little bit on martial law, okay, because as we've been seeing with all these protests, okay, and riots that have been going on worldwide, which have been prophesied. Matter of fact, let me start off with that scripture. All right, which have been written of in the scriptures. Okay, we all know where this is leading. Okay, and we're yet to see, all right, that ultimate those ultimate riots starting here in the U.S. Okay, but best believe it's on its way. Okay, you have this whole impeachment thing going on. All right, with Donald Trump. Okay, which that could damn near open up a whole can, all right, of chaos, all right, concerning civil war and people rioting on either side. Okay, whether he stays in office or he leaves, whatever the case may be. Okay, so let me start off with this. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. It says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." All right. So measuring the times diligently, what does that mean? Okay. That means when you measure something, all right, you look at however much you need, okay, and you pour the exact amount. You have measurements, okay, you have numbers, whatever type of measurement you're using, okay. But a key thing you need in measuring something is focus and concentration, or else you might go over or you might not pour enough, right? So measuring the times diligently, measuring these prophecies, we have to constantly watch that news, okay? Have the scriptures on deck, because the scriptures are our recipe book or our cookbook, which tells you this is how much to use, this is how much to look for, so on and so forth. All right. So being that we're those watchmen who are set upon those towers, all right, to watch these prophecies and these signs, we watch the news, okay? We watch it, we read these articles and see the things going on in the world. We look at the scriptures, we see, okay, what's happening here? What's happening there? Okay, that's written of here. Okay, all right, what order is this supposed to come in? You know, and then therefore what? We prepare our minds, all right, and our spirits for what's to come, as well as warn the sheep. So that's what the Lord told Ezra, which it applies to us today. Okay, so what? Measure the times diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And Yahweh Shai also said that what? This generation shall not pass till all be fulfilled. Now, he said that to those that were with him 2,000 years ago, but obviously, all right, you understand that all the prophecies he spoke of did not take place back then. Okay, some of them, all right, or the full prophecies are supposed to take place in this time. So Yahweh Shai was speaking prophetically. He was telling his disciples and those that were following him that, hey, he even told them, there be some of you standing here that shall not taste of death. That generation died, but he was speaking about in the reincarnation. Okay, because that same generation that was with him, all right, the apostles and those that followed the Messiah have been reincarnated back into today, this last go around. The same way that Roman Empire back then has been reincarnated into America, all right, NATO and the EU today, the same people who were back there are back here today. Okay, so the Lord said, this generation shall not pass till all be fulfilled, and that's talking about this time we're in right now. All right, so all the prophecies which are written concerning the destruction of this place, all right, and the ushering in of the kingdom are going to happen within our generation. All right, and we're very, very close to that. All right, so it says, verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right, the scriptures tell you that the Most High, who the world calls God, which his true name is Yahweh, he declares the end from the beginning. Okay, so when we see these signs come to pass, we see uproars in the world, which we've been seeing that. All right, and just because the mainstream media isn't covering it does not mean it's not happening. All right, those protests in Paris, they're still going on. Okay, the situation in Hong Kong, now they're talking about mystery illnesses coming out. All right, and now you have these violent protests in Lebanon, which, like you can see here, it says the Lebanese president calls on the army to intervene as massive protests turn violent in Beirut. See, so that's how they bring order. We always bring this out: order ab chaos, order out of chaos. Okay, they do something to provoke the people to riot. Okay, to provoke them to protest, knowing damn well that these protests can easily turn violent. Okay, once they turn violent, then they have a reason to bring in the army, to bring in the military. All right, because now it's in the name of it's in the name of bringing order. It's in the name of quelling revolts. All right, so let's read a little bit on this. All right, but really what it is being that the people are aware of what martial law is, they won't say we're declaring martial law. They'll say we're declaring a state of emergency, or in this case, calling the army to intervene. All right. It says Lebanon's capital Beirut has been plunged into chaos amid massive protests. Police struggled, and hey, those protests are going to come here to America. All right. Those protests are going to come here to America. Those riots, they're going to come here to America, man. And as the days go, you'll see how the Lord is going to incorporate it all and really connect these prophecies one into another. Okay. It says police struggled to contain the angry crowds with tear gas and water cannon, prompting President Michael Aoun to ask the military to intervene. What is that? When you have people uprising and going crazy, and you ask the military to intervene, what is that? Is that not martial law? Okay. Let me read the first part of this. I have an article here concerning martial law. It says, what is martial law? If you're looking for a definition, then martial law basically means using state or national military force to enforce the will of the government on the people. Right? Now, they're not going to come and tell you, oh, we want to enforce our will on you. They're going to tell you this is for peace and safety. Right? But it means using the state or national military force. All right? They have to, when the military has to step into civilian affairs, as you can say, that is martial law. But under martial law, they suspend your constitution. They suspend all these liberties that you've been given as a reason for them to do their job. You know? So it says, Aoun has asked the National Army to restore peace and order on the streets of Beirut. As the city saw fierce clashes between protesters and security forces, Aoun called on the military to protect the safety of peaceful protesters and of public and private property. All right. Once again, we always point this out. Watch out for Esau's key words. Okay. They say one thing, but their actions do another. They say something to get in there. Once they're in there, it's a completely different story. But I thought you said it was for our peace and said, no, listen, we're not even trying to talk right now. Okay. And hey, America really has the most psychopathic, sociopathic, crazy, medicated, demonic civilians, man. Okay, and that's just facts, because it's the environment. All right, this is an artificial world. The air you breathe has been tempered with. The water you drink has been tempered with. The food you eat has been tempered with. The hospitals and the medications that you take and go to have been tempered with. So it brings out the worst in people. It makes people turn into straight the life you live. Okay, you're in a state of agitation, whether you're driving or you're at work, whatever it is, you're constantly under stress, and everybody's basically on the verge or on the breaking point. So if you have a civil war or civil unrest in a country like this with people like this, okay, that's basically it, man. They're gonna go crazy, because the only reason American citizens are so-called sane is because of the little goodies that they've been given. All right. The little welfares and Section 8s and food stamps and all these things, that's what's keeping people calm. That's what's keeping them from going over that breaking point. That's why all they do is go clubbing. That's why all they do is do these wicked acts, social media. That's all they stay on, because that's their drug. That's their fix to keep them out of the reality of the stress and oppression that they're in. Right? So let something happen that takes that away, and they're gonna go crazy. Okay, or let something happen that threatens that, and they're gonna go crazy. People don't just get up and protest. There's something that provokes it. All right, and something is definitely gonna provoke that here in America, man. So it says, matter of fact, before I keep reading this, let me bring out a precept real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. All right, now Jeremiah is referring on here onto Jacob's trouble, which we're about to read, but it's not going to be one day. Okay, that day is great is a saying for that time. All right, it says so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So Jeremiah was prophesying about the future, because Jacob's trouble didn't take place, all right, like it's gonna take place now. It didn't take place like that back then, okay, but it is gonna take place like that now, and it's gonna be Jacob's trouble because Jacob, starting with you Israelites, all right, it's gonna be hella judgment on you and these other nations. And when it says he shall be saved out of it, that he is referring on to the elect of Jacob. Okay, so you might read it and think, well, it says Jacob's trouble, but Jacob is going to be saved out of it. Well, the scriptures talk about that there's an Israel, all right, of God. There's the elect among the elect, because Israel as a whole is the elect nation out of all these nations. But within that elect nation, you have the elect chosen, the elect people of that elect nation. So that you have the Israel of God. All right, those are the ones that are going to be saved out of it. All right. Those are the ones that are going to be saved out of it. Okay, the ones that are written in the book of life, as it tells you in the Daniel the 12th chapter. All right, so let's keep going real quick. It says back in this article, it says crowds have taken to the streets of Beirut in a massive protest against Lebanon's soaring debt. Ooh, wow! You know who else is in debt? The U.S. The reason people don't really see it yet is because the U.S. is good at hiding it. You know, they're covering it to the best of their ability, but guess what? That bubble is gonna pop, and when that bubble pops, it's not gonna be any pain relievers or any quote unquote drugs that can ease you off of this. No, it's gonna be all at once, man. It's like getting some severely painful surgery with no anesthetics, no anesthesia, no pain, no nothing. They're not even putting you to sleep. You awake while they're doing it to you. That's what's gonna happen to a lot of people, man. All right. It says which stands at about $87 billion, equal to more than 150% of GDP. All right. The public unrest is also fueled by an almost 3-month long power vacuum and by a crippling economic crisis. There we go once again. All right. Once the economy gets messed up, it messes with people's lives. Your day-to-day activities that you normally perform is not going to be the same. Now you're upset. You're looking for an outlet. Why is this? Who's stopping me from getting what I want? Why can't I get what I want? You see, just like a drug addict needs his fix to stay calm, when he doesn't get it, he starts having withdrawals. He starts losing it. You know, that's the same thing with these people, man. Bread and circus is their addiction. So once that's taken away, then they start going crazy. They're gonna turn into the wild demons that they are. All right. The rallies held under the slogan "We will not pay the price" soon descended into violence as crowds of protesters sought to break through police cordons around the parliament, prompting officers to use tear gas. It says live from Beirut, where electricity is cut from the whole Martyr Square. Police is cracking down on protesters now. Numbers are still big. Tear gas pouring like rain every 5 minutes. Let me see if this video will play. I'll try to play it. See if it plays. All right, so there you have it. All right. So you see that? Hey, that's what it's gonna look like that, and then worse. All right. In the streets out here, you see a little McDonald's, your Whole Foods, your Stop and Shops, your Rite Aids and supermarkets, your stores, schools, little kids getting off the bus, getting on the bus. That every day-to-day life is gonna be done. Okay, it's gonna be no more very soon. All right, and it's not gonna stop at, oh well, tear gas and water cannons. No, soon it's gonna be bullets. All right, mandatory curfews, microchip civilians. All right, you having to be on the run, not knowing if you're gonna die, not knowing if you're gonna run into a renegade group, a renegade gang. Because best believe in America, you have certain places that are gonna be good. Certain places, they're like residential areas, they're gonna protect them. They're gonna be protected and good. Other places like the ghettos, all right, and all these different areas, they don't care. The higher ups don't care about you. Don't even have money to protect yourself. When you watch TV shows and movies like The Purge, those people in low classes, they can't even afford protection and shelter. So they have it the worst. You're in the hood where crimes happen on the regular. How much more when we're in a state of emergency, when there's a state of lawlessness and anarchy? All right, your lights go out, you know, and it's gonna be like a siege. Okay, it's gonna be like a siege, and what happens within the perimeters is gonna be a wrap for a lot of people, man. A lot of people are out of shape. They don't know how to fight. They don't know how to defend themselves. They don't have faith. Okay, they don't know discipline. They don't even know how to think rationally, man. Okay, so they're just gonna panic and end up getting killed. You know, you cut a corner and all you see is just a pile of dead bodies. All right, sick people late. Yo, it's gonna be bad, man. It's gonna be bad. It says the protesters pelted police with stones and firecrackers. Others removed street signs and metal barriers and hurled them at officers. Police responded with water cannons. Clouds of tear gas also soon filled the streets in the city center, scene of some of the most intense standoffs between the demonstrators and the law enforcement. All right, look at this. Like I said, man, soon it's gonna get serious when they actually start using lethal weapons, man. At least 75 people were injured in the Beirut clashes. The Lebanese Red Cross/Red Crescent has told AP, adding that 30 of them were hospitalized while the rest were treated in situ. The demonstrators blocked several roads leading to the city center. Let me see if let me see this video here real quick. So you seeing all this, man? Now, let's say you're somebody who doesn't want to, really look at this. Massive fire has been set by security forces in downtown Beirut. All right. Now, you somebody who you want to hide in your house and all these things, and you in your house and all you're hearing is gunshots outside, people screaming for help, and you out here trying to hide in your house. What happens when the power goes out? What, you think you're gonna call 911? The police's attention is gonna be centered around where the most destruction is going on, but eventually they're not gonna be able to keep up. So they're just to hell with it. Your regular cops ain't. You call in 911, but 911 is looking for 911. All right, those cops are people as well. Those firefighters, they're also humans. They have families, they have kids, and you're not their priority when it comes to a level like that. So now the cops you're gonna call ain't there. You're gonna look to the martial law troops who are not really coming for your benefit. Okay, then what? Who are you gonna look to then? Oh boy. Hey man, all right. Let me get into this next article here. I have on martial law. All right, and then I'll get a couple precepts on it too. So I read what martial law is. It says under a declaration of martial law, constitutional freedom and liberties are suspended. and civilians are no longer entitled to their civil rights. It basically allows the government or a tyrannical politician to shred the Constitution and impose its will through military force. All right, that sounds like the imperial Rome, man, Roman Empire. That's the same thing they did. All right, when it became an empire, the whoever was the emperor had basically was ruling through military force. The same thing is gonna happen now, man. All right, hey, before that 2020 election or at that 2020 election, whatever happens, however it goes, something is bound to happen, man. Because if this dude Trump stays in office, something is gonna have to prompt or happen for him to be able to stay in office, man. Okay, because people have had it with him. All right, there's like a broad mutual hatred of the minority of this guy, but then you have other people that support him, man. Trust and believe, man. Okay, so either way, it's gonna cause some sort of tension between two different sides, opposing forces. All right. It says here, the reason we have lost so many of our liberties can be tied directly to the Civil War. It says on September 15th, 1863, President Lincoln imposed congressionally authorized martial law. While history contends the war as fought to end slavery, the truth is Lincoln, by his own admission, never really cared about freeing slaves. In fact, Lincoln never, but they'll tell you in school, oh no, Abraham Lincoln, yes, he loves slaves. He's trying to free slaves, you know. In fact, Lincoln never intended to abolish slavery. His main interest was centralizing government power and using the federal government to exert complete control over all citizens. The abolishment of slavery was only a byproduct of the war. It actually took the 13th Amendment to end slavery, since Lincoln actually only freed Southern slaves, not slaves in states loyal to the Union. See? But once again, people are not going to do their research. So Abraham Lincoln, oh, I like Abraham Lincoln. You know, yeah, forget the rest. I mean, he freed slaves. Really, did he? It says during the Civil War, Lincoln continually the scriptures tell you. Matter of fact, let me jump there real quick. This is Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, meaning is near. And one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands. All right. In the Civil War, you have one people who support one side and another people who support another side, who come and fight against each other, whether it's because of race or interests or beliefs or politics, all right, or class. Okay, and they come with weapons, whether it's their fists or bricks or bats or chains or pipes or guns. Okay, it says during the Civil War, Lincoln continually violated the Constitution, in some cases suspending the entire Constitution that he swore to uphold. Now, if Lincoln did that, what do you think Trump would do? Because he already declared a state of emergency, which people seem to have forgotten. It says he suspended the right of habeas corpus without the consent of Congress. He shut down newspapers whose writers displayed any dissent to Union policy or spoke out against them. All right. Now, today, modern day, they do that by what? Social media, CNN, Fox News. Okay. Even though they're all controlled, but it's by the way of the YouTube or the internet. They can easily shut that down. They have an internet kill switch. All right. He raised troops without consent of Congress. He closed courts by force. He even imprisoned citizens, newspaper owners, and elected officials without cause and without a trial. This is what happens in martial law. So don't think, oh well, martial law. Yeah, you guys always say that. It's not gonna be, because a lot of people in their lifetime haven't experienced draconian martial law. They haven't experienced it to the fullest. See? So they think, oh well, yeah, martial law, yeah, we hear this like broken record. But when you're in it, it's a different story. It says, continuing in 2nd Ezra 15, verse 16, for For there shall be sedition among men. Sedition meaning uprisings, uproars, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, like we see going on in Lebanon. All right. They're not modern day king will be a president, modern day prince will be your politicians, your governors, your vice presidents. All right. All of that, prime ministers and all of that. The people don't, when people are protesting, they don't care. They're doing what they want to do. All right. It says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That is what? That is martial law, as we're going to read. All right. What will happen under martial law? It says the first thing you will likely see is a declaration of a state of emergency. This may be done nationally in cases of war or large-scale terrorist attacks. Or it may happen locally as witnessed in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. But if they want it to be fully effective, like we just read here, they can do it in a case of war, whether it's civil war, global war, or terrorist attacks, which most of the time are not even organic. All right, they're set up by your own government. It says in August 2005, New Orleans was declared a disaster area and a state of emergency was declared by the governor. This allowed state officials to order evacuations and forcefully remove residents from their homes, suspend certain laws, confiscate firearms, and suspend the sale of items like liquor, firearms, and ammunition. Jumping down here, it says, depending on the reasons behind the declaration, you may also see. So if it's a natural disaster, they might, declare it, but it'll only be up to a certain level. But if it's like a large-scale terrorist attack or civil unrest and people are going crazy, you can see things like this. The suspension of the Constitution, probably starting with the First and Second Amendment, confiscation of firearms. It has happened and it will happen again. They've showed you that they're quick to do that. All right. Because you think that your gun is going to defend you. Oh, I got rocket launchers, AKs, MR, whatever, 29s and whatever, that's not going to do anything for you. It says suspension of habeas corpus, imprisonment without due process and without a trial. What did the scriptures tell you in Revelation 2 and 9? All right. They shall cast some of you into prison. Okay. And ye shall be tried. Now, they ain't going to even be sending you to no regular prisons. They're going to throw your ass in FEMA camps, concentration camps, all right, internment camps. For those that, see, some of you they'll kill, all right? That's why they have the red list, the blue list, the yellow list. If you're on the red list, you're dead, all right? You kill on sight. You're a threat. There's no hope, no coming back for you. Now, I believe the blue list is if you're borderline, where they can send you to a concentration camp and re-educate you back into society. If you're on the yellow list, you're just a dumbass. You're somebody who doesn't know anything. You're not a threat to them. So you just whatever. You might just be an excess eater who they can probably kill off, or they can just throw you, somewhere. All right. It says travel restrictions, like we just read here in 2nd Esdras, including road closures and possibly even quarantine zones. Let me read that again. 2nd Esdras 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go into a city. Let's say you in the Bronx, you want to get to Jersey, or you want to go to Manhattan, or you want to go somewhere, all right? Depending on the distance, you might need to drive. You might need to take the train. You might need to take a plane. But it says, and shall not be able. Why wouldn't somebody be able to get from point A to point B? Maybe because their vehicles might be confiscated, or because the roads that they're going to be taking might be shut down and blocked, all right? It says mandatory curfews and mandatory identification. Okay, if they tell you this is a mandatory identification, guess what? They might as well just tell you, well, the new forms of ID we're issuing out are the RFID microchips. All right, it is mandatory for you to take this. Why? Because right now you don't have the right or the ability to say I don't want to take this. You don't want to take this? Oh, okay. We're throwing your ass in a FEMA camp. Oh, you don't want to take this? Okay, well, the penalty is you're deemed a terrorist and an enemy of the state, so we're gonna chop your head off. What you picking? Because we need some form of way to ID you. Now, let's say hypothetically, right? They were to go by the way of terrorist attacks. They can easily say, well, With all this done, now we need to declare martial law, right? This affected our economy, but we need to microchip everybody to be able to identify who's who. If you're refusing to take this chip, that means that we can identify you. If we cannot identify you, how do we know you're not a potential terrorist? How do we know you're not linked to those who did this act? How do we know you're not an insider? You see, they can push that narrative on you. All right. And if you say, well, I'm not a terrorist, but I don't want to take the chip. Oh, well, then that means you are a terrorist. This is what we do to terrorists. All right. It says automatic search and seizures without a warrant. They can kick down your house, drag your ass to a concentration camp at 4 a.m. in the morning. They'll blindfold you, throw your ass in a van somewhere, and you wake up in a concentration camp. You don't know where you are. You could be in Alaska. You could be in Nevada. You could be in North Carolina. You could be somewhere you don't even know, Arkansas. You one night you go to sleep with your family, with your wife. The next day you waking up in a concentration camp. You know, see, that's when reality is gonna set in for a lot of people. You know, because fear is what brings people down. It humbles them. That's when you start thinking, yo, damn, you know, you start really thinking of your life. Like, what did I really do that was beneficial in my life? I went to the club, I partied, I committed adultery, I did all these different things, but how did that help me? You know, now I'm in this situation, this predicament, but how do I get out? What can I do? You know, then you start remembering, whoa, there were these men who were constantly out there warning us. Then you start seeing that when we were out there, it wasn't out of hate, but it was out of love, because you start thinking, damn, they were out there in the cold, they were out there in the heat, in the allergies, all these things, just to warn us about what I'm going through right now. You know? So they weren't there just to curse me out. They were there to actually warn me. Now I understand why they were so adamant, why they were so passionate about it, why they would curse me out sometimes, because I didn't know the magnitude of what they were talking about. All right. If you know that there's a bomb, all right, inside your house and your family's there, you run, you at work, you run and you make it just in time. You got like 5 minutes to get them out of there. Are you going to come there and talk to them nice? Hey, wake up. We got to go. There's a bomb under your bed. You know? No, it's fine. Just put on your slippers, take 20 minutes in the bathroom, put on your makeup, and then, you know, I'll warm up the car in the meantime. No. You're going to come in there. You might just be kicked down. Yo, open, wake up. Yo, there's a bomb. Let's go. I don't even got time to explain. Just get your ass out. You see? That's how you're going to get them out, because it's not I don't have time to explain right now. All I can tell you is you need to get out of this house. You see? That's how you're gonna say it. So when we see these when we're breaking down these prophecies to you, because of the level of importance and magnitude of it, we might get a little passionate. You know, we might yell at you if you don't get it. Because if here it is, there's a bomb and my wife is knocked out and I'm waking her ass up and she's telling me, what's going on? I'm like, yo, I'm probably just picking you up and we out. I don't have time to sit you down and explain it to you. You know, so I might have to raise my voice. You know, I might have to just pick your ass up and go. And then later on, I'll explain it to you. All right. But hey, as the scriptures say, man, some people are going to get it. Some people are not. All right. Let me actually finish on here in 2nd Esdras, verse 18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. You see, like you see in these protests here. All right. You have things like fires. Okay. People go around destroying, they go around looting, they go around raping, okay? So your houses, if you think you're safe in your house, think again. It's not going to be, I go to work and I know that I'm just going to drive home, you know? Or I go to the supermarket, which I know where it is. I can get some food, come back, make whatever. No. You might not know where you're going to go. You might just be in the street, not knowing what city you're in. You don't know what road to walk down. All you know is that there's hell breaking loose. You know, you got to seek cover. You got either martial law troops after you, have tanks rolling the streets, all right, with mandatory curfews. You know, you don't know. There's going to be no certainty, okay? And that's going to bring about that fear, man. And that's what's going to prompt that remembrance. Damn, I should have listened. Damn, they were telling me, man, you know, I have to find them. Because if they knew this was going to happen, they must know something else. They must know what to do. But as it tells you in Amos 8 and 11, they shall run to and fro from sea to sea, but they shall not find the word of the Lord. See, when something becomes valuable, when it's rare, all right, when you can't easily get access to it, it becomes valuable. Nobody's going around killing each other over rocks, over stones, over pebbles. If somebody has a pebble and you want a pebble, all right, well, keep your pebble. I'm gonna go get another pebble. But if you see gold, you see diamond, you see silver, it ain't no I'm gonna go get gold. No, you work hard for that. That's hard to come across. It's rare. That means it's valuable. So valuable that I might take your life for it. You see? It says here, and men shall be afraid, and a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, which is a weapon, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right. So out of fear, out of lack of safety, all right, people, goods, man, they coming for your wife, your kids, your food, you. All right. They coming for everything. They're not going to have pity, because when it comes down to it, yeah, you my homeboy. I've known you since we were like 3. All right. But I have a wife and kids that I have to feed, you know, and I'm closer to them than I'm closer to you. So at the end of the day, there's only one meal here enough for one family. We got 2 families here, you know, so I got to do what's right for me and my family. I'm sorry, but you got to go. You giving up the food and you leaving, or I'm killing you and I'm taking the food. That's a man having no pity upon his neighbor. You might not see it now, but when you're put in that situation, guess what? As the saying goes, desperate times call for desperate measures. All right. Yeah, you got, look, man, for people to go from being proud to eating out of trash cans and garbage cans, okay, for lack of food, people will do anything to survive, man. It's the survival instinct. Hell, they even kill their own family members to survive. All right, because first is let me protect my family, but when I can't protect them, and it's like it's my life or theirs, people, hey, by nature, all right, by selfish nature, people go into that, what, me first. I have to protect myself. I have to survive first. All right. Yeah, so that was it on this. All right. Let me just read this little paragraph here and I can end it off. It says, how likely is martial law in the United States? Let's face it, this country is a ticking time bomb, from widespread social unrest, crime, and violence to a growing national debt, which includes an entire subset of our population that depends on government assistance to exist. The writing is on the wall. Trouble is coming. Key word, trouble is coming. Like we read in Jeremiah 30, Jacob's trouble. Okay, so this is the time we're in, man. You're hearing it and you're hearing it and you're hearing it, but you're about to start seeing it and feeling it. All right, and a lot of people are about to be taken out of their comfort zones. As a matter of fact, I actually ended off with this, Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. All right, and that's when the Bibles are going to be valued. All right, but more importantly, those who know how to explain the Bible, how to break it down to you, they're going to be valued. All right. Isaiah 33, verse 6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. All right. Wisdom, knowing how to act, knowing how to make wise decisions. What should I do? All right. Knowledge, knowing what you should know in order to make decisions based on it. All right. What is the mark of the beast? Okay. What's going to happen during martial law? You know, how do I be protected? Okay. Should I avoid a concentration camp? All right. Who should I avoid? Where should I go? These are things you should know so you can make decisions. All right. Okay. I know the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. Cool. When they make that chip mandatory, I can make a wise decision by not taking the chip. Oh, I know I have to call upon the name of the Lord to be saved. So when I'm in a position of difficulty, I can make that decision, that wise decision of, instead of giving in because I don't see a possibility of surviving, I'll call on the name of the Lord and he'll deliver me. All right. That is going to keep you stable. Like it says, shall be the stability of thy times. All right. Stable where? In your mind. All right. If you're stable in your mind, you're good. You're not going to panic. You can be calm. You can be level-headed. And strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. All right. So like I said, I'm going to end it here. Okay. Lord's willing, this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Machakodash. Until next time, Shalom.